Arpita has an 11 years of professional experience in the field of public health nutrition, and she did her master's from our own department. Currently, she is working as nutrition officer, UNICEF India country office. Without taking much time, I would switch over to Arpita. Arpita, can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Arpita.
Yeah. So thank you so much to all the our FN department, alumni association, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Let's go to the business. Let's start with a topic which is scaling up nutrition program through Poshan Abhiyan. And if I go back to our previous panelist presentation, then I really have to use a time machine, to take you at least in the year 2015 or something like that, when that push has really started coming in. So even before that, when we were studying in our masters, we had a subject which is advanced public health and nutrition, and there we had to study many like all the flagship programs where like at the national and the state level, and there we saw that oh my god, we have everything, the policies are laid out very well, but what is missing, that all the policies, they don't talk to each other. So they are basically working in silos, and they are very vertical in nature. And now we are fortunate enough that we have Poshan Abhiyan in place, which is an overarching umbrella to improve the nutritional outcome across the life cycle, which holistically address all the multiple determinants of malnutrition. So now, under when all the schemes have come under one umbrella, now they have started not talking but staring at each other. So this is one big achievement. In 2015, sustainable development goal were adopted, and there, as mentioned earlier, in by 2030 we have to like India committed to eradicate all form of malnutrition, and by 2025 international standard of has to be reached, like for wasting it is 15%. Now, after that, we have 2015-16 data for NFHS 4, followed by there was another report which was which is a global nutrition report that came into that published, and everywhere it was very clear that the progress we are making in the last decade is very slow. I am not going into details because that has already been discussed in the previous presentation. So let's have a look how we were performing. I'm just here. I'm citing the data from NFHS 4 because NFHS 4 data was used as a baseline to set the target for Poshan Abhiyan. And here we can clearly see all these determinants, which also which includes adolescent health, maternal malnutrition. All these determinants come together, and they are leading to, at least they are leading to low birth weight. If I start with low birth weight, then 20% of low birth weight, then potentially every year we are doing almost 5 million either stunted or wasted children into our Indian population. So which is alarming and which is scary, I would say. So in the previous slide, it was data from one point of time, like it was NFHS 4. But to understand the trend, what I'm saying, it is. I'm very sorry for the small font, but if you look at the graph, it is this standing 10 years ago it was 48%, but now it is 38%. So 10 percent point reduction in 10 years. So 1 percent point reduction average per year. If I go by this pace, we will not be able to achieve our set target. So one is commitment to the globe, and second is, if I am committing to something, so I am responsible for doing that. And because of that, there was dire need to have a national nutrition policy. And then we have a national nutrition mission, which was launched by our honorable prime minister in 2018. And before that, you can see there are a lot of policies. And in 1993 we had that nutrition policy, but as I told you, there were many loopholes, and maybe and this is overarching platform, and where we can where we address, all nutrition sensitive and specific interventions. So why mission mode? I'm not going into details, but we can see the highest political commitment, which was missing a decade ago. Now we can see highest political commitment. We can see the commitment from the panchayat. We can see other departments have also coming up with new approaches. Prituti has already mentioned the innovations. So it is not only the WCD is doing that, it is also the NRLM is coming in, and which was all we have also seen in Chetana's presentation. So this is the target, mainly 5 target. One is reduction of stunting, then any form of undernutrition, then childhood anemia among women and adolescent girls, and then reduction of low birth weight by 2022. 4 pillars, very important to understand Poshan Abhiyan. One is technology. So technology, it is that it empowers the Anganwadi worker, and secondly, it gives you the real-time data, so that you can react, you can respond it immediately. Number 2 is convergence. There are intersectoral convergence, intrasectoral convergence. We have seen we have discussed many things on convergence, so not going into details. The third is first 1,000 days, and I don't think in the nutrition fraternity I really want to mention why first 1,000 days is important, but what is important is ensuring access to quality service across the continuum of care is important. And then Jan Andolan, even if nutrition is difficult, but what is our role, what is our responsibility to make it simple in our everyday behavior? And there the Jan Andolan is very important. Now going to the next slide, as I have already told you, it is not, it should not be any program. As Anupama was also saying, that if we have to go fast, we go alone. If we have to go to get, if we have to reach far, we go together. So this is the same thing. Like this is the life cycle approach, and we will not be able to reach the better nutrition status if we only focus on nutrition specific. At the same time, we have to focus on the nutrition sensitive intervention. Convergence, just to mention that there are 11 other departments which is tying up with this Poshan Abhiyan, this nutrition mission, and there is convergence from starting from the national level to the village level, and we know the challenges of convergence. This is very interesting and important slide for our students, because these are the immediate, and we all know the conceptual framework of undernutrition, but what is important to map to all those intervention where we can really have the data to understand how we are progressing. So this is a list for our students, and to reach to address those determinants, we have a set of intervention which is laid down here. Now coming to what is unique in Poshan Abhiyan, name it, everything is here. So what is important, if everything we can implement perfectly, so or it is in public health, it is very difficult to, this is not the right word, perfectly, there is no right wrong, but with full coverage, if you with coverage, continuity, intensity and quality, we will be able to reach our target with which we are aiming for. Now coming to the challenges, which is implementation challenges. So I have taken this is a broad heading. I have taken this from the very latest report, which is a progress report submitted by NITI Aayog to MWCD in September 2019, where it shows that there is lot of vacancy. So Anganwadi center is open, but no one is there to monitor. So if I give you some data, it is 25% supervisory cadre is vacant. We are talking about, growth monitoring, we are talking about cash, but if I look at the availability, it is only 27% at a 27% Anganwadi worker who has smartphone. It is 33% Anganwadi worker who has this stadiometer, infrantometer. So this is the what report is saying. Now coming to, I will not go to, we have seen this internet connectivity. I don't have to tell you today, because we have seen this internet connectivity is a real challenge. And then Jan Andolan, while I am saying Jan Andolan, because we have seen, we are very enthusiastic when the Poshan Ma comes, when the Poshan Pakhwada comes. But after that designated, dedicated months, all the motivation, something we lost. So it is for behavior change, and behavior change doesn't come within a month or so. So if we have to focus on breastfeeding, we have to reiterate about the messages throughout the year. Now coming to the use of data. So use of program data, we have real-time data. Suppose from 33% Anganwadi center, we have program data, but are we really using that? Do we know how is it the data is it only is it only the data, it is only the number, or does it tell you some story? So it is very important to use those data in regular monitoring, in prioritizing, at least in prioritizing the program, how to go about it, and the strategic move. Now data driven program, again, what is very important to understand, we have two set of data. One is population based household survey, another is administrative data system. And population based household survey will help you to enumerate or estimate what is the SAM load in the district. But the administrative data system which is like program data, ICDS comes from ICDS, MIS, Health MIS. It is support to the to review the program, whether we are going to the right direction, to strategy refinement and course correction. We have in the last election, Lok Sabha election, we have seen this, like this is a parliamentary constituency wise stunting prevalence. So based on that, our political commitment towards constructing road or infrastructure is very high, because that is visible. But what is not visible, this malnutrition. If we have if we are really using data to understand that, that is an excellent move, that is an excellent use of data. I thought I should cite this. Now coming to this, so this is program data, and if we look at this, oh my god, that is a sharp step. So there is a fall, so gain over a year, and we lost once a month. We have to understand why this loss. We have to ask why. If there is a sharp leap, then we have to ask why there is increase. So every time we have to ask this why. So now if we look at the time frame, it is January, February and March, and we know that this time COVID has hit as hard. Now this is the framework, conceptual framework, and here COVID has hit us. So the basic cause, the underlying cause, we know it has hit badly by COVID, and latest estimate by Lancet, it says that we are, because of COVID hit, we are envisaging a lot additional mortality, child mortality and maternal mortality. Let me tell you, in these 2 years, we have gained a lot, though we have challenges, but we have gained a lot. I would request to go through the report where we can see how we have moved from like where we were 2 years ago and where we are now. It is the survey done by the NITI Aayog, by ID Insight and Tata Trust, which shows a remarkable improvement in the sector of health and nutrition. So we are not in a position to start to lose everything and start from the scratch. So we have to get over this COVID induced coma, I would say, and we should not take long time. So these are the nine points I feel we should we should work on, or we should focus on. This is definitely in the time of COVID, and but this is also applicable when there will be no COVID. Let's cross our I'm keeping my finger crossed. So first is continuation of essential services. We all have seen that RMNCH plus RMNCH plus nutrition services, it is very important, and essential services need to be continued. And then supply chain, we should not it is like nutrition is not only about micronutrient and macronutrient, it is beyond that. So therefore nutrition financing, nutrition food supply chain is very, very important. When we talk about now the food security, when it is a problem, when that like at the same time we also have to focus on the nutrition security. Then management of case of acute malnutrition, if we can do that simultaneously, eventually we will manage the stunting cases as well, because stunting and wasting are correlated. So now coming to the next is micronutrient supplement. So micronutrient supplement, we know we have micronutrient supplementation program for throughout the, like it's a life cycle approach, and even we have COVID pandemic, but we have to adjust our strategies so that we can continue with the program, or we will seriously think about fortification. And the next is strengthen school feeding program, nutrition surveillance to understand which area, which pocket need more focus. And then mainstreaming nutrition in health sector agenda, we have discussed a lot. Then behavior change communication, non-negotiable, all these 9 are non-negotiable anyways. And then again it comes that not only convergence between the government sector, but also we have CSO partners, we have development partners, we have academic institution. If we can if we can work together, then we can definitely make changes. So these are the reference that I have used, and thanks a lot for this opportunity. That's all.